This episode is not sponsored, but we encourage you to help support the small businesses, charities, and organisations that we mention.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Our Circle. I'm Rhiannon.
And I'm Jess.
And today we are joined by a special guest who is a chef, a masseuse, and entrepreneur known as Sam Harridge, also known on Instagram as Sam Cooks Plant-Based.
Yay, hi.
Thank you for joining us today. We feel very lucky to have you here.
Thanks.
I guess just jumping straight into it, how did your chef career begin? Like, have you always been interested in being a chef and cooking?
I've always been interested in cooking, but my chef career has only been like 2.5, 3 years really.
Okay.
So to put a long story short, I came out of uni. I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. Always liked cooking. My mum's best friend at the time used to work in hospitality. Her ex-partner was a chef, so she knows quite a few people in the industry.
Oh, okay.
And she put me in contact with someone she used to work with, gave me a trial, and literally, just went from there.
So was your degree in something different to cooking?
Yeah, but it was still revolved around food because I studied nutrition at uni,
okay. But
I didn't enjoy university. So I left, and I was a bit like, what am I doing now? It was like last resort really, but it seems to work out for the better. So
That's cool.
Seems so. What's your earliest memory of cooking?
Maybe when I was like secondary school, 12, 13.
Okay.
And just, like I've got a few siblings, like an older brother, younger sister, and a younger brother. So it's like food is currency. You have to make your own to get some really. So just started cooking around that age and enjoyed it. It's just it's different.
Did you enjoy like food tech at school?
I was about to ask that.
Yeah.
I did, but I never sort of put it out there.
Right.
I was always like sporty, and all my mates were sort of sporty, and we used to like PE and all that. If I'd have done food tech, I'd have got me.
Was it a bit of a stigma around it, like being kind of like, I don't know, like a
feminine
girly thing? Yeah.
I don't know if it was a girly thing, but I think maybe a stigma, because it's just like, I think in school, everyone, like especially boys, you all take the mick out of each other.
I think a lot of people sort of thought food is like a thing that, like cooking, you can do at home. You don't need it as a subject. Yeah,
I think so. I don't think it necessarily been taken the mick, but I think it's just because it's such a left field subject, like compared to the everyday school subjects. I think you're just like, do I want to put myself out there and just go try something new at that age when like I'm really safe in my little corner over here? I was like, I'm at the point now where I even want to try acting, but in school I was too scared to try drama because
that's
of
cool. That you're like,
that doesn't mean I'm going to go start acting.
Oh, right.
But it's just a dream. It's just imagine. But it was just one of those things. Just probably confidence issues back in school, and then you just stick to what you know.
Yeah. So you've shared online with your followers and stuff that you've been a vegan or plant-based for the last 5 years. What started this change in your diet? And is it just diet for you, or is it lifestyle as well? Like, do you apply it to everything else?
It's very much lifestyle. I moved in with my dad about 6-7 years ago now. Yeah, and he's been vegan for probably nearly 10 years. So when I moved in with him, it was just sort of like he's always getting up me and just going, you need to change, be healthier. And I put it off for the first year and a half. And then towards the end of the year, about 4 or 5 years ago now, I just said to myself, I'm not going to buy any meat or animal products from the shop, but I'll get it like takeaways, because I was really into my gym and I was really like putting on a bit of weight back then. So I needed to keep up the calories.
Right.
But I was just feeling so bad and so like heavy and stodgy after having the takeaways. I was just like, this ain't for me. So I made Christmas dinner and Boxing Day leftovers my last meal, which I think is a good last meal.
Yeah.
I just said to myself, I just went cold turkey after that. Probably not a good pun to use.
Pardon the pun, yeah.
Yeah.
So was it for health reasons then initially?
Yeah, initially, like I've always been a bit empathetic in my thoughts. So I've always sort of said like, why? I was just like, why do we need to eat animals? Like, why is this a thing? Like, who came up with this? And then just digging, and then it's just a rabbit hole really. You just get lost. So
you went completely vegan. You didn't do like the incremental kind of vegetarian and then
absolutely
all pescatarian, right? Okay,
straight in. I didn't even know about veganuary then, which would probably helped me. I literally just went straight in with it. At the time, it was the worst decision I made. I didn't do enough research.
Right.
I didn't do, because like I said, I was working out and I was having a high calorie diet. So the first 6 months I lost 8 kilograms just like that quickly, and I just wasn't healthy. Like I didn't do my research on the nutrients that I needed. Nutrients, diet, and all that stuff. So most importantly, I didn't replace the calories that I was eating at the time. I just assumed that if I still eat, I don't know, I was probably eating about 5 meals a day at that point. If I still eat 5 meals a day, I'm still going to be the same weight. So it was just ignorance really from a fitness side of it and a dietary side of it.
So you wouldn't recommend going straight in, but like maybe doing your research first and like changing things bit by bit, or? Yeah,
100%. I would, firstly, I'd go at your own pace. I'm one of these people that just jumps into everything.
Yeah, I'm like that.
And then and then I sort of struggle as I'm doing it, and then I work it out along the way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
This is the message I'm trying to put out there. Just everyone's got their own pace. Like my 100 mile an hour might only be 50 mile an hour for you, or something like that. A metaphor along those lines. But so go at your own pace, do the necessary research, take it day by day, just try and beat yesterday. If you haven't got a long-term goal, just do better than the day before.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting as well that you struggled at the beginning when you had your dad who'd already been a vegan for 10 years. Did you not sort of converse with him about things beforehand, like before changing that? Or was it sort of just, do you do things separately at home? How does that work?
Oh, no, yeah, he definitely gave me advice on that. But at the time, he wasn't a lifter going to the gym and doing weights. He's very into running.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
His diet was very much over here, whereas mine was over there. So like he would give me advice on what to eat and
like to be lean, whereas you're like to bulk.
Yeah, at the time, whereas it's changed a little bit now. Yeah, but it just didn't work out. It was my own fault really. So, and then that led me to on holiday. We went to Beni Kassim that year. I relapsed like horribly. I said it in one of my videos. And at that time, people, you go abroad and you say you're vegan, they'll just look at you like you're an alien. You don't who is this person? I had to have a bit of fish, which I wasn't proud of. And then eventually,
did you feel guilt?
Yeah, I felt so bad. It was more because all my mates were getting at me, like as they would. Like, oh, you said you're vegan and now you're doing this. That was just jokes. But I was like, I've made this commitment to myself and I've gone and done this. So I think that was part of the not doing research, that I didn't actually know the sort of alternatives to sort of eat against fish and meat and stuff like that. So I just thought it was literally grains and veg and fruit.
Yeah.
That was that was my diet. So I literally said to myself, that is the last time. And as we were waiting to get the train back to the airport, we all went Burger King. I just had a fat off, like, I don't know, double-decker cheeseburger or something like that. I tell you now, I nearly fell flat on that floor having a heart attack. I was like,
it feels horrible though, doesn't it? When you
Honestly.
have been eating clean, to then have something in your body that is just so, it's not just like, for example, like you said, if it's Burger King, you're literally putting shit into you and your body is so aware of it. It's like, no thanks, and you just feel horrific.
It just rejects it, like completely rejects it, because you've been putting all this like good food, easily digestible food, easily passed food into your body, and then all of a sudden you're just putting this alien inside that is just going to sit there and rest and just form. Like, you've seen like pictures of blocked drains and stuff like that. That is your stomach on eating meat. Just imagine that's what your stomach looks like. So that's why fiber is very important. I'd say 99% of the world needs more fiber in their diet.
I agree.
That is the one key thing about any diet, is just fiber. Just, you're going to get a bit disgusting now, but just make sure passage is nice and fine and flowing.
Regular.
And it doesn't cause any problems. And then bringing on to another video I've done, the sort of mind and gut connection. And eat better, feel better.
Definitely. So
you can tag that at the top.
So you said that your friends, when you went away that time, they were sort of joking or whatever, or taking them account of you for going back on your word. Are they quite supportive then of you being vegan? Because I'm not vegan. I do a lot of plant-based stuff, but I'm completely vegetarian. And I've experienced, not with friends, but with other people, when you meet them, they're sort of funny about your diet, like as if you're an alien, like you said, like as if something that you're doing is somehow, one, wrong, and two, affecting their life by your own consumption. Have you ever felt like that with either your family members that aren't vegan or plant-based, or with friends, or are you generally quite supported?
Yeah, no, I'm generally supported in that essence. I don't know what it's like being a girl in this situation, but I think with men, it's always about our communication is taking a piss, like for the majority of the time. But yeah, over the years, they've got along with it.
You converted any of them?
Oh, absolutely not. Getting there. I mean, I think it helps the way I talk about food in terms of a beneficial way, rather than just kind of be vegan, be vegan, be vegan. I'm telling you, if you actually eat these type of foods, this could happen to your body and then your performance in turn. Because for me, it was all about performance, like in all aspects of the world. I just wanted to be better. So it was health. To bring it back to that original question, it was health.
Yeah.
And obviously, I like animals, and I used to feel guilty for stepping on a snail, drowning a spider, but no conversions yet.
In one of your posts on Instagram, you said that being vegan isn't about perfection, but making the most of the situation you're in. So what tips would you give? Like, for example, I'm still a meat eater. I have cut down on my meat consumption quite recently because we moved house in the past year and I'm like the main cook in the house. And also I think because I've got a little girl, since having her, I'm really conscious about what I'm putting in her body. And I think I don't really want to be cooking loads of different meals for everyone. So I try and cook the same thing that we can all eat. So I've definitely cut down on meat and like salt and all of that kind of thing. What tips would you give for someone who's trying to cut down on their meat consumption or become plant-based, like the goal being plant-based?
Do what you can. Like, I'm not, Instagram is full of people that look perfect on the outside and look like they're doing everything the right way and stuff like that. But you can only work with what you've got, or dependent on the environment you're in. Like you said, you don't want to cook 5 or 6 meals all the time for different meals for different people. That's fine. There's no problem with that, in my opinion. You do what you can. Like, I wouldn't want to do that, to be honest. The only reason I'm sort of very good with it is because I'm only cooking for myself. Right. But I know that's a similar situation to my mum. Like, she's trying, but she's got to filter to the needs of like other people in the house. And so it's just about making do with what you've got. And especially when shopping as well, because initially I'd say if you are trying to completely come off meat, I would go to the plant meat first.
Right. Okay. Like the alternative, like bacon or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. If fitness and that type of thing is not your goal, and you just want to be sort of better for the environment and that kind of thing, I would just substitute your normal diet for vegan alternatives, like vegan yogurts, vegan milks.
Vegan cream cheese is, I prefer to the normal cream cheese. Like.
Speaking about Instagram, you've sort of established yourself over the last year as Sam Cooks Plant-Based. What sort of inspired you to share your relationship with food and cooking and being plant-based?
Do you know what? If I'm being brutally honest, I'm not doing it for anyone else. Like, I've always wanted to do that, and I did start it at the beginning of last year in the lockdown, like doing it properly. I had a different name, and then I felt sort of like it wasn't really me anymore. So I just switched it up. I wanted to be a bit more in tune with my beliefs, sort of filter it to how I wanted it. It was mainly to prove to myself that, all right, I can get over this fear of putting myself out there in either food form or whatever it is now. And then hopefully, like, I've always wanted to try YouTube, so maybe I should. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I'm putting too much of me out there. It's a bit like, oh.
It's obviously down to whatever you're comfortable with. But I think for people like you who are doing something, one, that's for yourself, but also it actually helps so many other people. It's so beneficial for other people. And even like us doing this podcast, we're really putting ourselves out there and like interviewing random people. But I'm so grateful and happy that we are, because I know it's helping other people. I would really encourage you to do it. I think a lot of people.
Yeah, and you said you're like an all or nothing kind of person, aren't you? So I reckon just go for it.
Yeah, live up to
that. I'm meant to be easing my mental stress to the minute. So just say, do it. I will eventually. Like, I have set up the YouTube page, but I just like, I know on my page as well, I put out that you shouldn't chase perfection. But that's also a little bit for me to remind myself, because that's why I didn't start 5 years ago doing these kind of things, or I may have delayed going for that job or just whatever, because I'm like, oh yeah, okay, if it goes really well, it goes really well. But what if it doesn't? And then that what if it doesn't is like, okay, then leads on to this, and then leads on to this, and then leads on to this, and then going, oh yeah, but Shelley down the road ain't going to like it. And you don't even know Shelley, who cares? But yeah, and then it's just little things like that, and you're just asking yourself all these questions.
You sound like such an overthinker, like us. You sound like you
Join
have
the
the
club.
exact same brain as us. It's just overthinking.
Overthinking, overanalyzing. It's the worst combination you could be. And it's just like shut up at some point. Like, what is going on? My brain, like how I've sort of laid out my Instagram page is obviously the posts, like a little bit of a statement, and then you've got the sort of health benefits of something in the food. And then I've tried to put the sort of my favorite song of the day in that, because I want to do a Spotify playlist.
I really like the way you're laying stuff out. It's very unique. It's very, like you said, it's your own thing. I've not seen someone do this. I follow a lot of food, plant-based, all of those sort of things. And I like that you say what you've made or show what you've made. I like that you then give the ingredients after. A lot of people don't do that. I don't really do that, if I'm being honest, because I'm just like, oh, go find it yourself. You make it easy for people to see the meals that you've made, how you make it, and you've also
add music to it.
Yeah, music, that's a new element. How did you decide that this was going to be your layout?
I don't know, I've always fancied myself as a bit of a musician. I'm not, and I can't sing, but I just love music, like so much. Music and sport. If I could have been two things, I know I said I could have been an actor earlier, but if I'd have been two more things, it'd have been a musician or a professional sportsman. So I just tried to think of a way of how I could sort of put my passions together. So yeah, I just put the song as the footer, or song of the day as the footer, and then at the end of each month, it'll just be like a 30-song playlist that you can sort of cook along to. Yeah, it was just one of those things. I just thought, how can I be a little bit different? Because everyone's so samey a little bit.
You've also shared on your Instagram that you're studying, let me get this right, sorry, you're to be a vegan natural chef?
Yeah. So it's like it's a holistic naturopathic view of food. So literally how I've been kind of relaying it on my page, like the health benefits and why and this, that, and then it's just sort of relayed like that, and also just trying to put my personality in on it as well. But the natural chef course itself is just food for health. You came to me with, say, I don't know, I'm struggling a little bit with eczema, and I could go, okay, these foods are good, maybe take this out your diet. Like, I'm not a qualified nutritionist, dietitian or anything like that. It's just advice. It's my opinion. So it's always best to get professional advice first. They'll tell you what foods you need to cut out, and then come to me and go, okay, I need to get rid of this, I need to get rid of that. How do I get
and
this?
What, you'd come up with recipes? Or
ideally, that's sort of maybe something I've been thinking about, like longer term.
Was that the purpose of you doing this course? It's a course, isn't it?
Yeah. It was a little bit that. It was kind of putting all my sort of, okay, I've done nutrition at uni, but I didn't really enjoy uni. Doing chefing now, like, but how do I sort of bring it together? So I found this course like when I was 18, but it's quite an expensive course.
Okay.
Came back to me full circle like last year. I was like, I've got to do this now. Like, I still want to do it after all these years. So yeah, it's just putting my love of food and nutrition sort of together. Basically, as well, to specialize. I wanted to be able to sort of specialize in like a field of cooking.
Right.
Like most of the top earning chefs will specialize in sort of either Italian or French or whatever.
Right. Is there a difference between a chef and a cook? Because I thought that there was a difference, but I don't know if there is.
In my opinion, there definitely is.
Okay. What's the difference?
Anyone can be a cook. Because a cook is just sort of, okay, I can boil a bit of pasta, mix a bit of tuna and mayonnaise together, put it together. Not the best example, but that's my earliest memory of cooking. Yeah, you can literally do that and call yourself, put it out there and go, oh, I've just cooked this, you're a cook. Whereas this is just my opinion, but a chef is taking on that tuna pasta or vegan tuna pasta, doing it for 200 paying customers in like a 5-hour period by yourself, garnishing the pressure. It's the art, like
finesse that you put onto
it. And don't get me wrong, there are some cooks, like Instagram is full of cooks, even if they call themselves like a chef, like Shelley down the road, she's calling herself a chef.
Bloody Shelley.
Yeah, exactly. She's off now. But even if she and she's just putting it, can she do that in that high pressure situation
environment?
Because and it is ultimately, it's culinary art without sounding condescending. You
have the experience. That's not condescending, that's being informative.
I guess so. All right, okay, fine. I still wouldn't call myself a professional chef. I would only call professional chefs the ones that like a sous chef and above. Really, you've got an exec chef who will basically set the menu, all the meals for the menu, and sort of do a little bit more of the pricings and sort of this sort of stuff, more behind the scenes role.
Mm-hmm.
And then the head chef will be sort of the exec chef's right-hand man, getting all what he's done on the menu. The right-hand man of the head chef, which is the sous chef, which is when the head chef is sort of doing his own thing, the sous chef will take control and go, this is how it needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
But within that, you've also got a senior sous and a junior sous. So you could have someone who's like looking up to a sous chef, but then you could have a sous chef who's looking up to a senior sous chef.
Right.
And then it goes into what I am now, CDP, is like chef of the party. So invite me out, please. But then you can also have senior and junior there.
Okay.
And then you've got like a demi chef of the party, which is kind of the junior anyway. And then you've got commies, which is the bottom. And then you've sort of got commies and apprenticeship on the same level.
A new sort of venture that you've sort of gone down is ebooks. And can you talk to us a bit about what your ebooks are and, you know, why you're doing them?
Yeah, the ebooks themselves are based on today's topic or something that I find needed to go into more depth.
Right.
Yeah, the first one is based on subjects that I touched on in my first video. It's just about building consistency in your own diet and stuff like that. And it just gives you sort of meals that you can bulk cook, and like it's got diagrams in there that you can sort of build your own. So for example, I set out my sort of overnight oats porridge recipe, but I've also done like a little Venn diagram of, okay, you can use this instead for a sweetener, you can use this instead for fruit. So it's just like that, and you can sort of like make your own, so just be creative with it. And then also at the bottom of it, the last page even, it's got a shopping list template.
That's so handy. I think those are so like some of my favorite like cookbooks and stuff. It's not even about the recipe, it's about the helpfulness, like when it has at the beginning like a pantry list or what should be in your food cupboard and what should, you know, so you've
like staples that you should have.
It's so much more handy, isn't it? Because then imagine you go to, okay, I'm going to make something from this recipe book today, and yes, a lot of the time with most recipe books you are probably having to go out and buy things, but it's helpful to have at the front of a recipe book that, oh, these are the things that you're probably going to want in the house anyway all the time, to be able to make general things from this. I just think it's handy, so I think it's great that you've included that.
Yeah, I just think again with Instagram and just everywhere, everyone's always telling you to do this and do that, like, but no one's actually simplifying it. When you actually deconstruct it, it just makes it so easy. So that's what I'm trying to do with the page as well. I'm just trying to simplify, firstly, being vegan, secondly, being healthy.
Because there is such a I feel like vegan lifestyle has got such a negative connotation because people think that it's so overcomplicated and it's really hard and really expensive and all this. So I feel like it's a great idea to simplify it, because I think then people will be like, actually, this is really accessible for me. These are easy changes to make to my life, rather than, oh, I need to get loads of, I don't know, like really random stuff. I have to go to far shops to go and buy these seeds and stuff like that can replace, I don't know, eggs or, you know.
Yeah.
It helps. My consistency with my diet helps with me being a tight git. I don't like spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Bree's like, I can relate.
Yeah, I'm the exact same way. I do not spend money. I just don't. Because if I can make it myself, then great. And often I'm someone who, without sounding like a fucking snob, I bet this tastes like trash. So I don't always
make it better.
Yeah.
Like regarding the ebook, it's just easy food. It is just like you can just put it in a pot. All you have to do is chop the veg and stuff like that. And it's just to make your life easier, because I spend 12 hours a day cooking at work. Last thing I want to do at home is spend another 12 hours cooking. So how can I make that shorter for me, firstly? And then if it works for me, who thinks in this crazy way, maybe it'll work for someone who's actually sane and work it out. Sometimes I'll go a week, maybe like 2 weeks, just absolutely stuff in my face. But the thing that gets me out of it is having those easy, highly nutritious meals that will take no longer than 25 minutes. Just that will get me out of that little binge phase. But yeah, it's just like food doesn't judge you, man. If you want to stuff your face, stuff your face. If you want to eat healthy. Just don't make people feel bad for doing either one. Just enjoy it for what it is. Move on, get on with the next day. Sorted.
You look like you have fun when you cook.
I try to. I try to. Like, that's what I try and put out on my stories. Like the story part of my page is just more like my personality and sort of just my everyday thoughts. I just come in at it from different angles. Like, I don't want to be pigeonholed. I've never wanted to be pigeonholed. I hate it so much. So if someone likes me just for like trying to be be funny on my stories, then fair enough. If they don't like the post but they like the stories, fine. They're still a part of it. If they like the post, but they think I'm a bit of a cringe, which I do, oh well. Yeah, fine. They like the post. If they like the videos but don't like anything else, fine. Appreciate it for what it is and just hope for the best.
Definitely. Another thing that we've seen that you have done to sort of take up time is fitness as well, like whether it's yoga or other stuff. And we've seen that you've raised money as well for charities through doing fitness, such as a charity that we care about a lot, Mind. Is this sort of something that's close to you, like mental health as well as fitness?
Yeah, big time. I think they both go hand in hand as well. To be honest, I know, being someone who's always been involved in sport and around activity, it's always made me feel better. It's like a release from the world. But yeah, it's just mental health especially, I could probably talk about that for hours. So that if you have me back, we can probably sit down and chat that, because everyone's got their own story.
Yeah.
Including myself. So yeah, but I want to big up my friends who done that walk with me, Dom, Ashley and Sam. That was tough. We done a 24-hour walk.
Non-stop?
Yeah, non-stop.
Wow.
Like, obviously we'd have like 5-minute breaks here and there.
Yeah.
And bloody hell, towards the end, trying to stay up, that was like raining like at 2 a.m. in the morning. And we'd already been walking since like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. that morning, and you've still got like 9 hours to go. For whatever reason, our last little like sprint towards the end was the A316. What a disgusting like end to such a
finish line. Yeah.
Oh my days. It's grey, dull, never ending.
You could have done it the other way around, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, so yeah, we got through that. Yeah, that was an achievement.
I wanted to ask, do you think that there's a connection between your diet and mental health?
100%. Every sort of food has its own benefit. So that's where in my book I say eat the rainbow, and it is like a sort of common theme, but I didn't come up with it. I've taken it from somewhere else. But basically eat the rainbow is eat the colours of the rainbow, because every sort of food that has a specific colour has a specific like benefit. It has other benefits, but for example, if you're having bluey, purpley, those type of coloured foods, they're going to be higher in antioxidants than a red, yellowy, orange food, but that's going to be higher in vitamin C and maybe something else. And then you've got the sort of dark leafy greens. That is one thing that I would add to your diet. The only thing that shouldn't change from your diet is dark leafy greens. So that's like spinach, kale. There's loads more. The dark leafy greens are higher in iron, and also have a chemical called chlorophyll. Now, iron is important for everyone because it's carried around in the blood, and you need it, especially women as well. They need it pre and post menopausal, and because of the menstrual cycle as well, they lose a lot of blood. So you need to replace that blood with healthy blood.
See all of the viewers after watching this, all of the women suddenly running to the supermarket on their periods and stuff like, Sam said I need all the greens.
Yeah. So I learned about this when I went to a naturopathic doctor about a skin condition that I had, that I still have, but since I've been vegan, it's sort of non-existent anymore. It sort of arose from having hay fever, and it was just like, I don't know if you heard of like prickly heat. Yeah, so it was just that all over the body.
I get prickly heat in the summer.
Yeah, so it might be something called urticaria. So some people think it's hives, and I thought it was hives, but it might be something. So it just might be worth like going to a dietitian, a nutritionist, or a naturopathic doctor. I found most luck with a naturopathic doctor. For me, naturopathic doctors are wizards. Like, they're honest. Like, so
it could be something I'm eating, because I thought it was just because I'm ginger, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm just really pale, so every time the sun comes out, I'm like, great, here it is again.
Yeah, no, I'm quite pale as well. I mean, but that's another thing with me. Like, I was always quite pale, but since I've improved what goes into my body, I actually tan better. And I'm not saying
that's so interesting.
I'm not saying this is a cure. For all you know, I could be putting bronzer on, but I actually tan better, I've found, and I can stand the sun a lot better.
Really interesting.
I'm not a fan of taking Western medicine for like recreational purposes. For vaccines and that, 100%. That is, I'm not that guy. Do the vaccine, do the pandemic vaccine, etc. But nature has all the answers.
I completely agree with this. My dad's a big supporter of this as well. He's sort of like, there's no plant that can't fix you sort of thing.
Yeah, correct.
With most things.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I was pregnant and after, like, I had Mila and been breastfeeding her, I haven't been able to take pretty much any medication because I've been breastfeeding her. I don't feel like I need to take anything because my body, I guess, just deals with it, just gets on with it. And I've just been so much more conscious about what I put in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's good that you're breastfeeding.
Do you know what made me really think about milk, cow's milk, differently was that speech that, what's his name? I can't remember his name now. He's an actor and he did this speech at the Oscars.
Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Oh my God, that honestly, I know it sounds silly, but it really blew my mind, and it really played on like my thinking of milk, because I was like, as a mother now myself, I was thinking, hang on, these cows are constantly producing this milk and it's for their young. Why are we drinking it? Like, it was just such, it really played on my mind then, because I was like, that'd be like someone else's baby or another animal having my milk. And I found that really, really strange to think about. And then we've recently changed to oat milk. And that was also due to like Mila having some eczema. And the doctor said, like, can you just try cutting out dairy? So then obviously I had to as well. And then in turn, so did Joe, my partner. So we've all gone oat milk. And at first I was like, this is really weird in my coffee. But now I actually really like it. So yeah, there's so many alternatives out there, isn't there? That's
what I mean. I think I sort of copped on to being vegan sort of just before this wave now.
Before it got popular.
Yeah, so I'm an original, you know. So, but yeah, no, I think the way that it's going, the variety that it has now, it doesn't leave you with a choice but to have these things. So
it's mad though that
it's crazy.
I feel almost like it's been quite like we've all reflected during lockdown and whatever, but it's made me think, like, why has it taken me growing and nurturing my baby to kind of think about nurturing myself? It's like, why has it taken that for me to really start taking care of myself and really being conscious of what I'm taking? It's kind of sad in a way, because it's like I should have been doing that before. Like, I should have been a bit more conscious and cared a bit more about, I guess, I don't know how everything's working.
At the same time, like, I'm very much of the opinion of better late than never. Like, I'm glad that you that way now. And it's also, again, like Sam said, it's this wave now. Like, there is the information that's out now. Like, that wasn't around. You had to look for it. Having things that are easy accessible and stuff like that, it wasn't before. Like, this information wasn't everywhere, whereas now it is. So it's everyone is learning.
It's making me think about alcohol now, because like you said about like drinking, because the other night, so we did like a Mexican girls' night the other night, and I felt like shit the next day. I felt so awful, and I always get this guilt after drinking anyway. I was like, I only had like 3 drinks. I was like, that's not even that much. But the next day I was like, my mental health, I just started crying. I was like, Joe, I just feel like crying. I don't really know why. I can't even pinpoint why I want to cry, but it always affects my mental health. And I just, why does...
That's my point, like, of my page. Like, just take that pressure off. You made the decision to have those drinks.
Yeah,
be at one with that decision.
It was fun at the time. It was good.
Exactly. Yeah. So in that time you felt good, you're feeling great, but ultimately, being smart, you know the consequences, but just be at one with the consequences. Like, for example, if I go out and have a heavy night drinking or eating, I know I'm going to feel like shit, and I just accept it. And that's
tomorrow's a write-off. Yeah,
exactly. And honestly, like I said again, food is food. Like, alcohol is alcohol. The only person making you feel bad is yourself.
Yeah,
I think also, like, you know, it's not gonna, this isn't your forever. Like, you're not gonna then have another 3 margaritas every day, as much as we'd love to be doing that. Like, it's not what we're doing every day. So if it's, and I think I have to tell myself that, especially if I'm hungover, I'm like, this is the worst thing ever. But it's like, yeah, okay, that sucks, but what got me there was actually really fun, and I don't do that every day, so it's okay.
Exactly. And for God's sake, you've got a child. Like, just give yourself.
That's the worst part, though, is just that I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, it's 6:20. I feel like shit, and I have to care for my child, and I'm not going to be the best kind of parent or the best quality. Like, I can't give her my full like attention. I think that's what it is. Yeah, we're going really deep now, but that's how I was feeling yesterday. I was like,
it's mental balance. Just like accept it for what it is.
Be conscious.
Yeah, be conscious, but accept it for what it is.
Yeah, be kind.
The way that we like to finish our episodes, or the last question we like to sort of give out to our guests, is what makes up your circle?
It's obviously just friends and family, but I think as I get older and sort of like more in tune with who I am, like, a big part of my circle is myself. Just being at one with myself, competent, comfortable. And it's still a process. You still, like, it will never stop. But I think it sounds so cliche saying that now. I hate myself for saying that.
No, don't. No, because I mean, if that's what it is, that's what it is.
Yeah, I think, like, obviously family and friends is is everyone's. But I think if you can like connect with your inner self in the most like hippie kind of way, now at a point where I'm sort of like, yes, I am me. So
hey, congratulations.
It's good. Yeah.
So at the end of every episode, we like to dedicate the episode to a small business, a charity, or an organization. We kind of have a couple lined up with you. So we want to plug you, which is at Sam Cooks Plant Based. Everyone, you can go and check out his ebooks, go and support and buy and follow, like all of his stuff. You have a new sustainable business that's sort of in the making that hopefully people can actually get involved in. So we're going to try and encourage everyone right now, if any of you who are listening who are creative, you are blog writers or writers in general, to get in touch with Sam, because I'd love for you to sort of explain it to them, but it's sort of a place where it is a lot of blog posts sort of thing.
Yeah, so it's a community. So I want to bring people together with the same sort of ideologies, and even not like bringing people together that maybe don't know about a sustainable lifestyle or vegan lifestyle, and then they see someone, they want to try it out, but they don't want to feel overwhelmed and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring all creatives together. Like, get in contact if you fancy writing. You don't have to be a professional blog writer. You don't even have to be a writer. I'm not a writer, but I'm just trying it and hoping for the best.
Definitely. And then the other part, again, is something that's in the making, but to contact Sam, is a subscription box that your mum is doing, that are self-care boxes. And I feel like a lot of people could really benefit from this at the moment. People just need to sort of look after themselves and cheer themselves up. And your mum is currently creating self-care boxes, and she's a life coach, isn't she? So that's something that people can reach out to you to sort of go through to her, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's sort of at its beta phase at the minute. But they're called You Are Not Alone boxes. Like you said, my mum is a life coach, so she's like educated in this sort of field. And even if you don't want to get involved in the boxes, I'd recommend getting involved with a life coach. I know I did, and it helped me a lot to sort of focus in on where I want to be and what I want to do. But yeah, the boxes themselves, so I've got to read it off here. It's got to be very specific. So the boxes, the You Are Not Alone boxes, contain eco-friendly, handmade, hand-poured sewn gifts. So like candles, makeup removers, masks, considering the pandemic, stuff like that. Also, it contains a pencil made from newspaper. So sort of sustainable items like that. And then coaching and meditation exercises. So you've got like a little sort of like picture book, but also space to write your thoughts. Within the book itself, it's just sort of like comments and quotes that will maybe like that you see on Instagram, not the type of thing, but it's like my mum's made them and she's done it and stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool. So hopefully by the time this video comes out, we'll have some more information on how you can get involved. But otherwise, definitely go and follow Sam on both of his accounts, which is at Sam Cooks Plant Based and at Sam Harridge. Yep. So definitely go and follow him on there and get yourself involved in looking after yourself, whether that's self-care boxes or cooking better thanks to Sam. And yeah, please go and support. So thank you so much for joining us today. We've loved having you on. And definitely if you're keen to come back, we'd love to have you back and we can talk about many other things.
Mental health.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like we could have spoke for hours. So yeah.
Great. Well, we'll definitely have to do another episode. Thank you everyone for listening. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to stream on Spotify and iTunes. And we will see you in our next episode. Bye.
Bye.